Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Racing Insiders podcast. I am Kate Dillon from Crate Insider. I'm sitting here today with Steve Hendren from Hendren Racing Engines. And for any of you who are joining us after, hear the replay, just to let you know, we do go live Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook, YouTube. Facebook and YouTube. So, yeah. But happy Monday, Steve.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead, turn that up.
Want to turn it up a little bit?
Yeah,
we're trying out this
new
damn Joe Rogan podcast shit here.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna hit Joe Rogan numbers here or anything,
not by any means.
but definitely wanted to improve our sound. I've actually had most of this equipment for quite a while. I just didn't have headphones. Well, I had headphones, but we wouldn't have liked those.
Yeah,
So.
now that sounds way better to me. But
yeah, it definitely it sounds so much better. It'll sound a lot better in the recording.
I can hear my awesome announcer's voice.
Yeah. You got that like sexy podcaster voice thing going on. Yeah, definitely. So I guess that new things going on. So that's new for our show. Having improved our sound, I guess after 2 years.
Yeah.
Then that's a good thing. And speaking of time, yeah, of course the clocks all went forward this weekend.
Thank God.
I know, but did it surprise you?
Oh, it totally surprised me. I forgot about it. I thought it was going to be Sunday rather than Saturday. So, yeah, it surprised me a little bit.
Oh, it totally took me by surprise because, like, the next day on Sunday, at some point, I'm thinking it's like 5 o'clock, and then I look at a phone or something, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's 6. How'd that happen? Oh, I'll bet it was daylight savings.
Well, it happened to me when I went to bed, actually, because I went to bed shortly before 2.
Oh.
And then I, go get ready for bed, come back in, and all of a sudden it's 3. I'm like, what the fuck?
How did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen?
Steve, you have violated the first 5 minutes of podcasting.
No,
you almost caught yourself.
Right. That's right.
We're trying to not say the F word at least in the first 5 minutes, so YouTube doesn't demonetize us
or censor you.
Yeah, that could be bad. I think it's more of a shadow ban more than anything else.
Much.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten any strikes. At least not in a while.
Probably back when we were talking about the.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's bring something up that's going to get us a strike.
The jibby jab or the gunga.
Yeah.
that'll get you a fucking strike or damn strike.
Yeah. There we go. Oh my goodness, we've got some folks here tonight. So let's say hi. We see Scott's here. He says hi, S&K from California, where the next atmospheric storm hits tonight.
All right.
Yeah, California is just getting pummeled.
Yeah, I mean, next thing is going to happen is earthquakes, probably.
Oh my gosh, don't wish that upon them.
I lived and survived through a 7.2, so out there when I lived there. But that'll probably be the next thing.
Well,
hadn't been a good one in a while.
Oh man, I mean, it's rain, it's snow, it's more rain, it's fires. Whew.
Oh yeah,
that's rough. It's kind of nice living in a small town. We're far more protected from and living in North Carolina.
Right.
I like North Carolina. Whoops.
I'm like trying to get this. Apparently, I got to be like tonguing the freaking microphone or some shit.
Yeah, because you sound better. And I do have other mic stands. They're just not here. They were at the shop. So yeah, I found cords. That's the most important part. That was a thing.
Right.
That was definitely a thing. I know I should have like another cam that just shows the absolute mess of cords that's just everywhere in front of us.
We got to go shooting Saturday.
Yeah, we did.
So that was awesome.
Yeah. I hadn't shot my Glock in so long I forgot how to hold the damn thing. And it's like knocking back on my thumb. I'm like, I don't remember this being the case.
Thumb forward, Kate. Thumb forward.
Oh well, I couldn't remember. I mean, the last time I shot, I went on YouTube to find out how to hold a gun. And this time I didn't. I was like, oh, it'll be like riding a bike, and I'll just pick it up. It'll be fine.
Evidently not.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
We resolved that problem, and then you were like actually shooting really well.
Thank you. Yeah, I hit the target, which is the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Yep. Shot some bullets and said, okay, I'm good.
Center mass shots were good. So
isn't that what matters?
That's what matters.
Yeah. I'm not trying to like become like one of those competition shooters or anything like that.
No.
Just broadsides of barns or intruders. Intruder alert. Yeah.
Basically, if you see Kate with a gun, run.
Yeah.
Don't stand still. Run.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you might want to stand still. No, I'm fucking with you.
Yeah. No, and you shot a bunch of your guns and a bunch of
Yeah.
them for the first time too, right?
Yeah, I did learn. I'm actually going to change carry guns, honestly. So I built a Glock 19 polymer 80 lower, but it's got like a Zev slide and backs and barrel and all that. I can't remember the trigger I bought for it. It's a carry trigger, not a comp trigger. But yeah, I actually shot that better than I shoot my Sig 226. So
Yeah, you
or
did.
229, sorry.
You sure did.
So
I like its nickname though.
well, not a Glock, yeah.
You're not a Glock.
But yeah, I shot that thing so well. I'm like, yep, I'm changing carry guns. So
Well, plus, isn't it a lot lighter than the other one is?
it's quite a bit lighter, yeah. I mean, nothing tremendous, but yeah, it's lighter.
I mean, ounces matter when you're carrying stuff. I mean,
It does.
it's why I didn't want to switch over to the iPhone Pro Max, because it's so much heavier and it's bigger and it's heavier.
Right.
And yeah, so that's why I didn't want to make the switch. Just have my regular iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And we have a whole list of questions. It's been a busy week and several people have put their questions in for us. So we'll be answering those. But I see a couple other comments here. I see Mikey's here. He says, crazy weather, but at the end of the day, hookers save lives.
They do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, and it's funny. I just talked to Neil this afternoon. Yep. Neil McPhillips from Hooker.
They've saved my life a few times. So
yeah. Well, saved Alex's life.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Practice with a blown tire.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go test at a track and you got a right front go down, entering turn 1, when you're literally turning the fastest times it's ever been turned at that track in a late model, which he was. Yeah, that's not a good thing to have happen.
Mm-mm.
So basically, it's going to the jig.
Yeah, it's not going to buff out.
No. Total cut a right front down. I mean, there's nothing you can do at that point. You're just done. So
yeah.
And the bad part about it was like literally like 2 laps before we were done and loading up and going home so we can go race the following 3 nights.
Yeah.
This was on Wednesday.
Yeah. I see JD is here and he says, hi, Kate and Steve. Question, got a new set of Schoenfeld headers for a 604 crate late. Got extensions and mufflers. Do you recommend using the extensions?
Which header is it, honestly?
It's for a 604 crate late model.
Well,
yes, we've always used the extensions with the Schoenfelds.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know that there's several different designs of 604 headers that Schoenfeld has. But yeah, I mean, if it came with them, I would certainly use them.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the it's either 406 or 606 LV3 GMC-3, I believe is what those are.
Straight over my head.
Yeah, it's Schoenfeld headers. I've been selling headers for a long time now. Do you realize that we're gonna have our 9th anniversary of Crate Insider in 2 weeks?
That's right, April Fool's Day.
Yeah, and the reality is I was obviously working on it before then, so we'll be going into the 10th year of Crate Insider.
Yeah, because we did that after the Cars Trade Show.
Yeah, in December.
So yeah, so we
started building it at the end of December.
Me and my brother started working on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and the web guy. That's a whole nother story.
Well, that's a whole nother story. But
yeah,
he was useless freaking douchebag. But at any rate, yeah, we got it up and running, and like, I think you've got it framed upstairs, don't you? The whole
it's framed, but it's
the napkin and shit that we.
It was the back.
Yeah,
it was back with one of those desktop calendars.
That's right. That's what it was.
And it used to be framed upstairs, but now it's framed and it's at the store.
Yep.
Yeah, they put it up in the office there at the store. I'm making a transition in my home office to make it more of well, it's more like a home office, like a home, but with an office in there.
Oh yeah.
And then I rediscovered one of my hobbies. I'm sure nobody wants to hear about it, but I'm going to tell them anyway. I rediscovered quilting. I used to do a lot of quilting, and I'm having fun sewing again.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody needs a hobby.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not like we go outside anytime here recently. So.
No, nothing like a little downtime though.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my downtime hobby. So I like making things.
Yep.
It's because I made a lot of things before, and I don't actually like having a lot of things around. But then I got into digital, but then after a while, all the digital stuff just I don't know, feels a little empty. So I wanted tangible things I could make.
I'm going to be honest here. this microphone is like impeding my beer drinking.
Oh,
because I'm used to just like going, not have to.
yeah. I'll have to try to do a web search for a beer-friendly microphone.
Yeah, but we might need to do that.
Wow. Do we need to get you a straw?
I will suffer through it tonight.
I know, but you sound amazing.
Maybe I get one of those hats that goes outside the microphone that holds the beer, and then the straws run down.
That is so hot.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I love it. All right. A couple other comments here, and then we'll jump into some more questions.
Yeah.
And I see Alan's here from Shaffer Oil, Alan Brandley.
Hey, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. He says hi. JD says he thinks he'll use the extensions then. And Brandon, what is the optimal operating temperature of a 602 on E85?
Generally in that 180 to 195 range. So I'd do whatever you can do to get it to that point.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Much above that, just depending on the oils that you're using and stuff, you can start losing a little bit of power. But yeah, generally that 180 to 195 range.
Cool. And Tori's here. Amazing assistant Tori. She says, but the sound is incredible. So
all right.
Yeah. Yeah. She's the one that has to listen to it tomorrow, for the podcast.
Right. Oh, I liked how I sounded doing that. It's like, all right, all right, all right.
We're like kids with new toys.
Exactly.
And Josh is here saying hi, Kate and Steve. And let's go ahead and jump in. So hi, Josh.
What's up, dude?
Let's jump into some questions here that I've gotten in the last week. So first of all, Steve, what are your thoughts on lightweight balancers on a 602? First of all, would you consider it a bolt-on part or part of the engine?
No, it's part of the engine, but it's outside the bolts.
Was my answer.
So in other words, if you put that on there, could it be an advantage? Yeah, probably a little bit. Not worth getting busted for, but yeah, if you run one, I mean, the engine builder is not at fault because it's outside bolts. Mm-hmm. So it's on you, not the engine builder.
Well, do you typically see that in rules that it has to be the stock GM balancer?
Yeah, every dirt rule that I know of, that's how it has to be. There are asphalt series that allow you to run either like smaller diameter, lighter balancers.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Okay. And then kind of on that same vein,
I would run it if you could, is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Not worth getting thrown out for a year over, but if it's legal, then yeah, I would do it.
Great. On that same note, though, on a 602, is there an advantage to using a lightweight flex plate?
Yeah, again, I mean, any rotating mass, I would be using the lightest stuff I can possibly get a hold of.
Have you ever done any testing on either one of those?
On as far as
either lightweight balancers or lightweight flex plates?
Well, no, because it's not so. I mean, it's measurable probably like on my chassis dyno, an acceleration rate, but I don't know if it's measurable enough to worry about.
Yeah, it's not like 0 to 0 kind of stuff.
No, but I mean, anytime you gain, like if you got to use a flex plate, obviously you're using a small one, but a small flex plate's still going to be what 14 inches in diameter.
Yeah, something
so
like
that. If you can use one that's 6 inches, that's better than one you can than one that's 14 inches, let's say. So if you're getting out to that large of a diameter, then yeah, the lighter it is, the better off you are.
Great. All right, on the Generation 2 Bert transmissions, are the Crate guys getting them with a ball spline or a slip yoke? He's not sure which one's the better route. This is from Jimmy.
I'm going to recommend, if you go with that, well, number one, I'd recommend the Falcon. But if that's what you've got, then or are looking at, then I would go probably with the slip yoke on that transmission.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily because I about ripped my fucking leg off one time with a Gen 2 ball spline transmission. So I would certainly go with the slip yoke.
It's hard. I sell transmissions, but I sell probably a lot more drive shafts. And what I've seen there is I have about half and half of whether people want to add the slip yoke or not,
right,
on drive shafts. So that's I didn't think there's not just one clear winner in that is as far as what's popular.
Like I can't. Oh, what did I break? I broke. Shit, I think I broke something. And fortunately, I had a carbon fiber shaft in it. Now, if I wouldn't have, this would have been catastrophic. But even the carbon fiber shaft came through the tunnel and hit me in the leg because it was still attached to that ball spline.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it can't go anywhere. It can't fall out.
Right.
So you break a drive shaft and a slip yoke, it actually will fall out on the ground usually.
Mm.
It might hit the safety loop, drive shaft safety loop, but at that point it's going to fall on the ground. So
great. I got a long one. You can take a couple sips here, Steve. All right. This gentleman says, I have a question that I cannot find an answer for. I recently purchased a 1973 El Camino, lovingly named Camina. She was being restored back in 1989 to 1991 when the owner passed away. His widow left the Camina in storage till she sold her in 2021 to the guy I bought her from. So basically, we're like third owner here. The original owner had a new, is it 3 Zs or 2 Zs? I don't know, but it says ZZZ 350 crate motor installed. So I say 31-year-old new motor because she has never been driving more than a few feet to move around the driveway. My question is about timing. She has a Edelbrock 4-barrel and HEI distributor. I can't find detail specs for tuning this engine. Any help would be appreciated. And he says, thanks. This is from Lou and Camina.
Gosh, I'll be honest. I haven't worked on stock stuff in so many years. It's ridiculous. Dang. Initial timing. I think you want to be, yeah, there's a lot of variables there. What would I recommend there? I would recommend not listening to me, number one, on this. But
yeah, we do more race car stuff.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything I do is race car stuff, and there is no advanced curve and shit like that built into any of the stuff we do. Trying to think what the hell we used to time my old car hauler on back in the day.
Well, here's a question. I wonder, what about Yellow Bullet forum? Would that be a good forum to go to? I haven't been to Yellow Bullet in a long time.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I mean, there is some stock stuff on there, but that's primarily a drag race forum.
It is, but I think people would be kind of knowledgeable about some of that stuff.
Oh, there's plenty of smart people. Yeah, Yellow Bullet. There's a ton of smart dudes on there.
Yeah, I remember that was very entertaining and very informative forum for sure.
Yeah, you might try that. Other than that, I mean, shit, find an old school mechanic who's got a freaking scope or something and put that thing on there and set it up that way. I know that style cylinder head will, it's like 36 degrees max timing. I don't know what your initial would be because it depends on the advanced curve of the distributor.
Right. And it's an HEI distributor. Yeah. So, yeah.
Because essentially what you're doing is you're timing it, initial timing could be 12 degrees, but it's advancing, X amount to get your overall timing.
Gotcha. Well, cool. I mean, those are a couple of suggestions.
That's not my forte. I'm not a mechanic.
Right.
So it's not something that I've ever really messed around with.
Well, I didn't know with all your experience.
I did, but we're talking back in the 80s and 90s, not now. So.
Great. All right. Our next question is, do you recommend low drag bearings on all 4 wheels or just the front? And that is from Mark.
I would run low drag everywhere you can get it. I don't care what it is. It needs to be rim polish. It needs to be low drag, especially if we're dealing with a crate situation. Because everything you can do to free up rotating energy is great. So.
Yeah. Great. Next up, where is the best location to install the coolant temperature sensor in a 602 engine? And that question is from Joe.
On the outlet, going back to the radiator. So I think you sell that Joe's thermo spacer. I'd put it there. I'd put it there.
Yep. I believe that's a 36025, I believe is that part number.
I get like all the numbers in your head tonight. What the hell?
Well, I've been selling them for 9 years.
Well, there's that.
And there's a few things that are, far more popular than others.
Yeah.
So I still don't have my profab numbers down, despite how many of those I sell.
But no, I mean, you want it in the return because that's
coming out of the engine.
Is what you're reading coming out of the engine, which is what you want to do.
Great. Here's another one. So, Steve, is spark plug indexing, is it worth it? And that's from Mikey.
Well, it depends on the application. I mean, on a crate engine, no, it really makes no difference because you have no interference issue with the piston and the spark plug electrode. Normally, when you're indexing stuff, it's going to be, something where you've got an interference issue.
Right. All right, here's one for you, Steve. I've got a damaged rocker arm stud in a 602 that makes it hard to get the valves set right. Any recommendations for a workaround until I can pull the engine for a refresh?
Yeah, so if you got a damaged stud, sorry, those things are press in. So they make a tool that you can actually remove the stud, and they make a tool that you can actually replace the stud. So that's what I would do. You can do it in the car. If it's an exhaust rocker or an exhaust stud, drain the water out of the engine because that goes into water. If it's an intake, you're fine. Just you don't have to drain no water or nothing like that. But yeah, there's tools made to do that.
Well, that's cool. And that way you're not violating like the being in the bolts thing, but you're just fixing something that needs to be fixed.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's nothing illegal about doing that. It's just, you're repairing something that's messed up. So
interesting.
But yeah, that's what I do.
Great.
And honestly, I mean, if you go that route, a little bit of red Loctite on that stud, once you get, the tool to beat it back in and all that.
Is red the permanent one or the
it's
not permanent one?
Pretty permanent. It's not like green, but it's pretty damn permanent.
Okay. I think it's the red one that I bought because we kept having the bolts come out of the bottom of the chairs.
Yeah, the red will work on that. Green is generally for like if you got a gap you got to fill in.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see green at the Lowe's. Oh, I said the Lowe's.
The Lowe's.
I've lived in the South long enough that I'm picking up terms. So it's like went to the Food Lion and I just didn't even realize that I was saying it. I guess I've been around here.
Hey, enough. Just popped in my head. How about my buddy Jonathan Davenport?
Tell me.
Did you read the news?
I did not read the news.
Got his first cup right at Bristol. In April. I believe it's in April.
That's exciting.
Not badass.
I'm very excited for him. Fantastic.
I am too.
Great. That'll be really fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
That'll make it worth watching.
That'll be the only NASCAR race I watch all year.
Yeah, it'll be the only one worth watching. I can't wait. That'll be great. That's great.
I'm so happy for him. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Absolutely. Who's he driving for?
I can't remember. I think one of his teammates is Allmendinger. I don't know all these NASCAR teams anymore. So
okay,
but like one of the
I thought there was only like 3 now.
No, I don't know. One of the teammates is like Allmendinger and like some other dude.
Gotcha. Well, maybe we'll get back to the comments as soon as I got one more question here on our trusty thought we'd be prepared
thing.
Yeah, thought we'd be prepared here today. So I was having a conversation over the weekend. Someone was asking about like how much of the XL1 engine treatment to use and their oil and how much to take out, all of that. And his follow-up question was, can the Daytona 1 XL1 engine treatment be used in a bert transmission, or what would you suggest?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Now, would you do the 2 to 3 ounces a quart just like you would do?
No, it doesn't take as much. I'd like, because you're only using a quart of oil, so I'd probably only use like ounce or 2 maybe in it.
Okay.
But like you can also use it in your quick change rear end.
Oh.
So
now, would you use that?
Not a lot of people know that, but back in the day when we were testing with Buck, we did it in the rear end, and that was
sorry.
It was like it was pretty good.
I'm an 8th grader.
What?
Because you did it in the rear end. Sorry, that was just funny.
Oh my God, Kate's actually got humor tonight. What the
fuck? No, if you were using the 3060 gear oil, would you even consider?
You don't need it at that point because it's got it in there.
Right.
That's what I meant.
No, so. I mean, I love what Buck says about all of his additive packages is that they don't know where they are. They're just going to do what they were designed to do. So yeah. So that's cool. I didn't know that. Normally for a transmission, I would sell the dirt track trans fluid for that, which
if you're buying his fluid, it's in there.
Yeah, it's already in there. Right. Yeah. So that's cool. But if you're using some other oil or something, just add a little ounce of XL1. I like that.
And his power steering fluid has it in there. I mean, funny story. well, funny to me. But God, when did I have that Mazda? I had a Mazda 3, and those things are inherently bad to have power steering pump issues because it's like an electronic power steering pump, all this shit. I don't know, some like messed up shit. And my power steering pump started going out on that thing. And I poured, what was it, like 2 ounces, I think, in the power of the Daytona 1 XL1 in the pump. And to the day I got rid of that car, it fixed the problem.
Wow.
So
that's incredible. All right, we got a pile of folks on here now, so let me see if I can back up. I might have to get a little closer.
Sorry if we ran out a little bit too long there, but
no, we were answering questions.
Oh,
we're
there you
asking questions. Okay, so Darren Silver is here. He says, "I'm watching," and Alan's here. Says, "Hey guys, love you. Love your V. I don't know what that. Oh, there's more. Love your valve springs." Originally, wasn't sure where that was going.
Love your V sounds a little bit weird. What?
Didn't know where that was going.
What are you and Alan up to here recently?
Oh yeah, we've been on production. We are out of beehives. I've got to call Newsom and get some more beehives. We were out of beehives. It's crazy. Gary's here saying hey, and Matt Henderson is here.
Hey,
he's been
Mr.
on the
Matt.
show before. Yep. He came down and saw us a couple weeks ago, so it's great. Jason also he comes in the shop sometimes. He says, want to give a big shout out to Steve and the crew for getting my motor back to me last week, and Kate for having all the stuff I needed to purchase. You guys are the best. Nice. Well, thank you so much for being our customer, for sure.
At least we got one out the damn door.
Yeah.
It's been an issue here recently.
Oh, well, you've really had a hard time getting piston rings for these 602s, right?
Yeah, that's still a thing.
Or that's the latest.
That's the latest thing. But yeah, it's all been an issue. Yeah, I mean, honestly, on his engine, we actually had to buy the freaking rings off of Amazon in individual packages, which was 3 times the price of what the rings would have been. But it was that or you ain't racing.
Yeah.
So fortunately he was like, I want to race, so get them. That kind of thing. But no, it's down to that crisis point, basically.
Yeah. All right. And Matt's got an opinion on the ball spline versus slip yoke. He says, the Gen 2 ball spline ripped my seat and cockpit out and about broke my hip. F that.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, you've been there with that, Steve.
Yeah. Fortunately, I had everyone needs a carbon fiber drive shaft, by the way, because that's probably the only thing that saved my leg.
Yeah.
And it still got hit with that. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Here's another one. Brandon says, how do you feel about bumping the chip? Gear to touch the chip or gear to not touch the chip? It's a 602 engine, if that matters.
Honestly, a lot of it depends on the racetrack. Like if you're at a stop and go kind of place where you really need to add gear to it, how many guys do you pass coming off the corner versus going into the corner? So I'd be more inclined to, stop and go type track like that. I'd throw some gear to it and get it up off the corner. If you're banging the chip 3/4 of the way down the straightaway, who cares? Because nobody's going to pass you anyway. If you're on a momentum style track, at that point, I'd be wanting to be a couple hundred RPM below what your rev limiter set at. Primarily because it's momentum. So the more momentum you carry in and into and through the corner, the faster you're going to be.
Great. I just love this name, Wood Carvers Ukuleles. That's nice. Great. I'm going to have to check out his page. And he was saying LOL. So to check that out. Alex is here with us tonight. He says he would like a recommendation on how to stay out of the wall. Thanks.
Don't ask Matt Henderson. I don't know. make sure the tire doesn't explode on the right front. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and there's a little more discussion about that. Is Charles is asking how bad was Alex's race car damaged, and Alex is like, yeah, it's gonna need a clip.
I don't think it's gonna need a whole clip. I think the main rails are fine. I think it bent the right front upper rail.
Mm-hmm.
So basically back on the jig, and quick fix, and I think you'll be back in business, other than the right rear axle tube and probably the rack and everything else that was on the right front. So,
well, in the meantime, he'll be busy sending out T-shirts.
Yeah, yeah, he'll be peddling T-shirts.
Yep. Now it's like,
which look fucking great, by the way.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. We'll sell T-shirts to fix race car.
Exactly.
Kind of like we'll work for food.
That's right.
All right, and Johnny says that Davenport is in the 13 car at Bristol.
Yep.
And it's the same sponsor on a super late model. It's going to be Nutrien then.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, Nutrien Agriculture.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Dave Hammond is here. Hammond Motorsports, and he says ball splines should not be legal anywhere. Man, I think we are like 3-0 on
we're
slip yokes versus ball splines.
We are right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like knew that response was coming. About not taking running into the wall advice. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Tommy says run right front and no pop. LOL. Yeah. So yeah, no popping of the right front.
No, that is not good when you're like, all right. So the track he was on the other night, so I think like the track record there in a super late model was a 14.2 or 3. And at the very end of the night with our CT 525, he was turning 14.1s. Wow. So he could have gone there, qualified fast time, and won the last Carolina Clash race at Harris. Basically, is what it comes down to.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
You know, if he didn't knock the fucking fence down.
Yeah. Well, there's that. Hey, and big shout out to Harris Speedway here in Rutherford County, North Carolina. I don't know if their address is Rutherfordton or not, but I mean they're like 8 miles from here.
It was Rutherford County.
Yeah. So they just painted their inside wall and in the track and got it repainted. It's just nice to see that little bit of facelift. All those little things really add to the experience.
They actually repainted right where Alex hit the wall too. So now there's like some black streaks on it. So they were joking. Well, he told me, he's like, yeah, tell Alex I charge you X amount tonight because I got to repaint the wall again.
Yeah. That's good. And Tommy says, haul in the mail. Love it.
Well, I took a friend of mine there who's never even seen a race car on a dirt track. My friend Eric Darling. I've spoke about him. He's been on the show before.
Yeah.
A Marine Scout Sniper. And he's like, I'm surprised how calm y'all are. And I'm like, well, dude, this is racing. Shit happens.
Yeah. I wasn't there for the ride.
You either go with it or you damn quit. So we just go with it.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. Yeah. Just one of those things. Yeah.
Yep.
That's how people like me stay in business. No, I never want people to crash. I just want them to, like change their oil and try to make improvements.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
And speaking of improvements, that's probably the big overarching question I've gotten for the week is people calling and asking, hey, what can I do? What's new? What can I do to get the absolute most out of this crate engine? And so if you've got some suggestions, I mean, my first go-to anyway, is to ask them what kind of fan they're running.
It's honestly a loaded question because there's just so many different variables involved.
Well, of course there are, with different rules, and we've got to start there with what kind of engine they have, what kind of rules they're under, but if you're looking for every advantage.
Currently, like on a dirt scenario where we can run the 85, you need to be on that, which allows you to run less fan blade, which frees up more power at the rear tires.
I was asked about fuel. Yeah.
And then the fuel itself produces more power than any of the race gases or the oxygenated race gases out there right now.
Unless you're in modified country where you can run ethanol or methanol.
Methanol. Yeah. I mean, methanol, totally different scenario. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's the go-to if you can.
Run methanol.
Right.
If you can't, then E85 is the next best thing.
Yeah.
And all that adds up to, yeah, we're making more power overall versus, a race gas of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Air filter base would be another one.
Yeah. I mean, everything adds up. I mean, it's all little things, but I mean, you're not going to make 100 more horsepower, but you're going to,
no,
but you're going to, all that shit adds up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just going down the list, of the choices
Headers.
you can make. Headers are huge. Yeah. Especially for torque.
Headers are massive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course you want air and fuel. So airflow.
Yeah. I mean, well, I always tell everybody, I get people that call me all the time and they're like, hey, what makes your motor better than Hedgecock's or Ramey's or whoever else? I'm like, nothing. Yeah, I mean, like a blind monkey can do what we do. Honestly.
A very incredibly well-trained blind monkey.
But what it comes down to, because you can only do so much. I mean, there's rules we have to work around, so there's only so much you can do. But like what makes a difference is the package that we put together versus whoever else puts together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, just so happens the two guys I mentioned, they're on the Profab headers too.
Yeah.
Along with my mufflers, by the way. But that's what they sell because that's what's best.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I think it's about getting with a guy or a company that you can work with. People will answer the phone, they'll talk to you, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Answer your questions, that deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you might even find regional differences, I would guess.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's, I sell engines to people all over the United States. I assume, most of my competitors do as well. And so it's just, I think it's about the relationship, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Really important. And Charles says, hopefully y'all can get it fixed back as good as it was because he was flying.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we will. Well, I'm not pretty sure. I know we will. But shout out to Alex's shot guy, Hardison Suspension Technologies. I'm telling you, that dude is the smartest dude I've ever met. he had him rolling. So unfortunately, he had to take the right front shock home with him and unscrew it up. But
yeah. Way it goes. Well, I would say another really what separates so much is not just in parts in to be able to get the best performance. So much more of it is knowledge. And that's where, having knowledge and also a team. So I think having the right people on your team, whether it's, the shot guy or your engine guy, all those different roles, it's really, that part's really important. Right. But then also having enough knowledge yourself that you can have intelligent conversations.
Well, yeah. So as a driver, and if Matt's still here, he'll certainly, expand on this, but as a driver, you have to be able to relate to the guys around you, what you think you need. But in the same sense, like, for instance, like Wyatt the other night, when Alex was testing, I mean, he'd stop him on the track, go in, make a change, do something real quick, say, this is what it's going to do. Alex would go out there and make a couple more laps. Yep, that's what it did. So you got to have that. Nowadays, I think the most important relationship's shot guy and the freaking driver.
No, I agree.
Honestly.
I agree. And in order to have those conversations, what I was going to get to is the value of knowledge. And that one great way to get that is to check out those Race Logic Chassis School. And Matt's involved in that. 100%. You were there. Yeah. Ben Baker and Dave Hammond. I mean, also Robbie Bilberry is brilliant.
Yep.
So it'd be a great way to learn so that you can, it's just hard when you don't have enough knowledge to be able to have a conversation up at that next level. Right. And I feel like with going, and now it's online. We did it live in person, but it was all recorded. So you can go to racelogic.vip and buy that course. In fact, there's a whole bundle and all kinds of stuff.
Well, not only can you do that, but you have access to us.
Yeah.
So if you got an engine question, I mean, feel free to call me. If you got, a driving question, call Matt. If you got, a shock question, you can call Robbie, stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think it's a really good deal.
well, and Matt,
I hope to be involved in it in the future.
Yeah. And Matt has an addition here. He says there are so many things that can be a multitude of things on the car. You have to feel that and communicate it. But if you can effectively communicate that to your shot guy, your program will go to new heights.
Exactly.
And that's where I do feel like you've got to have enough just base knowledge to even know what questions. I get in trouble when I don't even know what questions to Google.
Right.
I don't even know what to type into Google.
Right.
I don't even know what I don't know. Yeah. So that's the hardest part. All right. We got a couple of questions here. So Brandon says, is there a horsepower difference between a 4-blade and a 2-blade 15-inch fan on a 602? If so, how much?
Yes, there is. Now this is a guess because I haven't probably tested a 15-inch 2-blade versus 4-blade, but I'm going to say 5 horsepower at the rear tires. Just based off of what I know about 17s and 19s. It could be less just because of the diameter of the fan, but that's going to be my guess.
Yeah. And Tommy says, that is the biggest seller to me of any product in this sport is someone who will actually talk to you. Well, he just didn't say actually, who will talk to you.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm putting words in his mouth.
Name of the game.
And our buddy John Waters is here, and he says, for you being his engine builder, he says that, and Steve has really soft hands. Repeat customers for days.
Yeah. John's got a pretty mouth too. I'm just saying.
Y'all are terrible.
Fucking Waters.
I've interviewed John. And so there's going to be an interview with John Waters on the Crate Insider YouTube channel. Just got to dig for it.
Just look for the Yankee accent.
Yeah, it was cool. It's cool interviewing John. Although I didn't find out until afterwards what he did for a living.
Oh yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah.
no shit I'd ever freaking do.
Yeah, which reminds me. So he's an underwater welder, and I went to a welding class like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I don't think I talked about it on the show. Yeah, I was excited. It was a lot of fun. My second welding class, and you know what I learned is that the first time I was there with my dad, and it was cool. And actually, Dad ended up doing most of it for me. But I was telling him, when I had the hood on, that I'm like, all I can see is like just. What are you like magically blindly like? You just have to know where you're going because all I can see is this little dot of light. Well, this time I had my own welding helmet and I had him help me adjust it. And when you turn it down, you can actually see the piece. And like I literally did not even see, like I couldn't have even seen the table with nothing. So this time I could see it, and I made some. Hey, I'm not going to become a welder, like it's not gonna be my job, but it's just something I've always wanted to do. So I have a synergistic welder. I still have to get gas. Once I get gas for it, then I'll be all set up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cause this time I actually bought a welding jacket too. And another set of gloves. Yeah.
Totally not like Kate to go balls deep into some damn obscure thing.
So balls deep, absolutely. Yeah, go big or go home.
I'm waiting for the rest of this room in here behind us on that side to be like a quilting rack freaking thing.
No. That's all contained upstairs. I did move all of the furniture so I could have a design wall. I don't think you've seen the upstairs.
I have not seen that.
Yeah,
I really don't want to see it.
Yeah, I know you're not interested at all. So I normally don't bother him with things that I don't think he'll be interested in. If anything, I can see this turning into where you've got like the foam on the walls and stuff, where like you see some of those podcaster studios with the black foam with the cones, the sound absorption. Now we got the cool microphones though, so it helps. Oh, and Tommy's a pipe welder. He says pipe welder here. Yep. So yeah, I have totally new appreciation for what you do.
Yep.
And I think that was cool. That this is one of those, like, it's an art workshop. We're just gonna tack some horseshoes together in the end of it all, but just to learn that there's just a lot more to welding than just push the button, do the thing. There's just a lot more to it than that. So I learned some even more
Yep.
second time around. All right. We got another question here.
Mhm.
Brandon says, around what RPM does a 602 on E85 see max torque?
Like 55 to 56. I mean, after that, it's pretty much kind of starting to fall on its face.
Mm.
So that's what I was saying earlier about the rev limiter chip question,
Mm-hmm.
which was, do you want to hit the chip or not? And like I said, on stop and go type of track, yeah, you probably do.
Mm-hmm.
But on a momentum track, no, because you're well above your peak torque, peak horsepower, running around at 6,200.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And Tommy says that definitely an art of its own. Absolutely. Well, that's why I wanted to learn how to weld so that I could do art things. So if I'm not putting fabric together, I can put metal together or wood or whatever. I like all
really
the
want to
things.
see you welding in your apartment.
No, my welder's at the shop.
Okay.
Yeah, it's since it used to be an oil change place, I'm a little freaked out about how much oil fumes could be in that place. There's just not a good spot for that welder to sit. I really don't know. There is not one undangerous spot in my shop.
It's about like you shooting your PC carbine the other day.
It lives in the closet now.
She's like, nope, that's
Nope.
a ton of fuck no.
That's nope. Nope.
Like, no, you gotta
Yeah, when they told me I had to put my face on the side of it, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, no, just rest it right. No, I don't want to do that. So then it's like, I don't even know. I was straight up Ricky Bobby.
You're like,
and I was like, I don't even know what to do with my hands.
do with my hands.
Yeah, which one it is. I don't know. Yeah, no, there's a dot, and it was
well, it's a Ruger PC carbine 9mm with a red dot on it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it through to her that you gotta get your face on the red dot.
Yeah.
Because she was worried she was gonna get hit in the face with the red dot.
I wasn't worried about getting
but it's
hit
a 9mm carbine.
I was not worried about getting hit in the face with a dot. I was worried about getting hit in the face with the recoil of the rifle.
It shoots like a 22.
Well, that's great. Yeah, the CoverGirl mascara, it applies just like the Revlon. Does that mean anything to you?
At any rate, she's like, that's a whole lot of the fuck no, and that was it.
No, he brought it in the house.
She's gonna stick with her Glock 43.
I'm gonna stick with my Glock.
I bring it in I bring it in her apartment after we're done shooting, and she's all, yeah, put that in the corner of the closet. I never want to look at it again.
Nope, it can be over there. Can be.
So if anybody wants to buy a PC carbine that's badass,
it looks really cool. It looks like
it's
a cool looking gun. I just, I bought it because when we were full on like zombie apocalypse, I mean, I have no intention of ever hunting either. I have great respect. So I have no intention of hunting myself. But, when we were in, lockdown, which I call like zombie apocalypse, if that's what it took to eat, get food, then I'd find a way.
Yep.
So that's what I figured that would be a better choice than my Glock. And it looked cool. And then, but yeah, it's taken 3 years to shoot it for the first time.
Right.
Yeah. All right, we got another one here. Let's see. Brandon says, if track conditions allow for it during qualifying, is it worth utilizing the mesh open element qualifying filter from Walker Performance? I haven't. Nobody's told me about that one.
I honestly haven't tested it. I mean, there's different variations of that by different companies, which I've tested, and on a crate engine, it's not going to be the difference between being fast qualifier and 10th if your shot guy sucks or the tires aren't grooved right, basically. So that'd be one of the last things I'd be worried about. I'd just stick with the normal stuff and get the car better, honestly. Because I mean, it's just not. If there's a power difference, it's going to be very minimal.
Well, and to add to that, I think it really depends on where you are in the country, because if there's a lot of dust.
Well, that's what he was saying. If track conditions are
right.
In other words, if it's like muddy or something.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't worry about that shit.
Yeah.
That's like kind of I don't know. I use Walker filters, but I mean, that's a bit gimmicky there. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I don't sell them. Yeah. Somebody was asking me today. I think it was today. It was asking me about an NGK plug, like maybe, I don't know, TR4 or something like that. Well,
Tier 5 probably.
what it was.
Yeah.
Well, he was asking me, what spark plugs we recommend. I was going down the list. He's like, well, but what about an NGK like TR5? I was like, my answer was, you've tested them all, and if that was the better spark plug, then
Yeah.
that would be the one I would sell from NGK.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So I really rely on Steve and Mike to kind of keep me up to not just kind of, but absolutely to keep me up to date on whatever is the
Well,
best.
TR5
of the best.
you can go to advanced and buy.
Oh,
So,
is that what it
because-
was? Because he was like writing down the numbers. I
Yeah.
think it was like, I'm going to get the information, but not buy anything from you. That's very possible.
Exactly.
It happens
So-
every day.
So
So,
yeah, you can go to AutoZone and buy one of those.
Yeah, that's probably why then. Yeah. Anyway, it can happen.
All right, are we done?
I think we're wrapping up here.
I'm ready to go get a sandwich at Main Street Market.
Sandwich.
in
You want to get a sandwich?
Rutherford.
Sandwich? Oh, I think it's because you want to go up there and do karaoke.
Well, I'm not gonna do karaoke. Were you thinking about doing karaoke?
I don't know, maybe.
She went like 2 weeks ago with me after the podcast.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Sang a little bit.
Yeah.
Got applause.
I did. Yeah.
Maybe you can go up there and sing with the dude who thinks he's Prince.
You never know. We have a world.
Who's
of
actually not
possibilities.
that bad.
No, he's really talented.
He's like,
he's really talented.
he's like, knockoff Prince, but
Yeah. Oh, and Darling's here. He says Main Street Market. Of
Yep.
course. Yep. That's
Absolutely.
where we're
That's where
going.
we're going, dude.
All righty.
And we brought your name up earlier today.
Yeah.
'cause
Sophie's just joining us.
He was there and got to see Alex hit the fucking fence.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, now we're way past 5 minutes, so now you can say all the F-bombs.
Yeah, I can
you
say
want.
all the F-bombs I want.
Yeah. All right. Any last words before we wrap this up, Steve?
Nope, we're going to Main Street Market. See you there, darling.
All right. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And as a reminder, if you are catching the replay and you'd like to join us live, we go live on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, regardless of which of the time zone things it is. But 7 p.m. Eastern, that's when we go live. So join us, submit your questions through the week. You can send us messages on Facebook, leave comments on YouTube, send an email to Kate@CrateInsider.com, any of those, and we are happy to answer those for you on the show. All right, in the meantime, hope you guys have a great week.
Adios.